In on Horford, and a foul. And TJ hit hard.
Uh-oh, this doesn't look good.
It was that moment right there when Al Horford took out TJ Ford. We just knew the Raptors didn't have the balls. They didn't really have the Stugats to step up and back their teammate. Really, this team lacks, I guess you could just call them soft. And that's why we're going to make over this team during the segment of the show and talk about some guys that they can maybe add through free agency in the summer 2009. The first guy that I'm bringing up, guys, is Rasheed Wallace or Ron Artest. Now, you're in if you think one of these guys should be here. If you think neither of them fits, you're out. Both these guys free agents this summer. Rasheed or Ron Artest, you in or out, Darren?
I'm in on Ron Artest, and I've said this before this season, and the reason I say that is because this team is soft. They are a bunch of nice guys, and that's great, but we all know where they finish in a race. And so when you're looking at Ron Artest, and he hasn't been the explosive spark plug he was supposed to be in Houston, but I think this is exactly what that team needs, and I know there's a fear that it go over the top, and he's too much alpha, and he's too much of what we need, but too much is better than a whole lot of what they don't have right now. And Artest, to me, as he gets older, as he gets in sync with his own game, is probably a perfect complement to a soft team.
Will, you in or out?
I'm in on Artest, definitely not in on Rasheed.
You like one of them, you're in though, so we're
I guess I'm in then. I'm in. I like Artest for all the reasons that you said. He hasn't been as productive in Houston as I thought he would be, and he's been injured more than I thought he would be. So that's a bit of a concern for me. So I'm on the fence as being in with that. But if I had to choose and the gun's being put to my head by Wheels, I got to run with it.
Gun to your head, Cauz. Come on, you like Sheed, don't you?
You like guns to his head.
You know what? I mean as well, and you're right. I do like Sheed. I've always liked Rasheed Wallace. We always have our guilty pleasure players. He is one for me. The thing is, what I like about him is he is tough. I know he's not a great leader, but I think if you put him in Toronto, I think it could work. You know, I don't know if anyone thought that Oakley was going to work right from day one when he came here. Rasheed also, he can still hit the three when motivated. He's a great player, and he stays home. Well, I know, but most players when motivated. So I mean,
a guy like that, Rasheed thinks he's a leader. Ron Artest knows he's not a leader. I'd like to have somebody who knows exactly who he is.
Yeah, Ron Artest went out and just ripped Yao Ming in the past. Let's bring in Rasheed.
So this guy's not going to bring toughness, but he can score, and I love his game. He's a free agent this summer. Got a bunk contract by the Chicago Bulls. Ben Gordon's out there. They really need to upgrade the shooting guard position. Goodbye, Anthony Parker. Ben Gordon, you in or out, Darren?
I'm in on goodbye, Anthony Parker, if it means a trip to him to the bench. But I'm in on Ben Gordon. I'm out on Ben Gordon as well, and I'll tell you why. We don't need another defensive verse scoring two. Maybe a guy that thinks he can play a little bit of one as well. I don't like his dynamic as a player. Combo guards always scare me a little bit, but with him, he's so one-sided on the ball that I don't think that's what you need.
He's so good at scoring, though, and that's what this team so needs.
You know what? I am totally out on Ben Gordon. And it's scary. I've agreed with Andrade twice in the show.
That's the
way it eventually goes.
No, it must. It's karma, right? I'm out on Ben Gordon. He is a one-dimensional player. I don't think he brings anything of any sort of real dynamic to the Toronto Raptors that helps him in the long run.
I'm in on this one. I don't mind he's one-dimensional. We don't have any one-dimensional offensive scorers on this team. There's no one on this team like, man, better not leave that guy open. He's going to score. And now you bring in Ben Gordon. Ben Gordon can explode for 30.
At what
Name
cost?
one player.
With 30 shots, shooting 40% from the field?
The Raptors want to play an up-tempo brand of basketball.
You know, I'd much rather that than a guy chuck up 9 shots and miss 8 of them, okay? I'd love to finally have a guy with potential.
One thing this team desperately needs, and it just came to me last night when I saw both Bargnani, Calderon, and Marion off the floor at once. The Toronto Raptors do not have the right coach right now. Jay Triano cannot stay with this team. I want to see a guy like Jeff Van Gundy, a guy who's been there, done that, a proven winner, a guy connected to the game, a guy with some attitude as well. I love Van Gundy. You in or out?
I'm out on Van Gundy. Even though I'm in, I like him as a coach. I do. I think he works both sides of the fight, despite the fact that he's no more as a defensive coach. But you know, I look at the Van Gundy style. It chafed a lot of people in Houston. I think what this team needs now is more of a calming influence, not a rigid stairmaster. I do. No. The nice guys shouldn't be on the court. Nice guys should be maybe prowling the sidelines a little bit because we haven't seen a lot of that. I think Jeff Van Gundy isn't the key here.
You can listen to Enya as well. Will, you in or out?
Love Jeff Van Gundy as an analyst and as a coach. He's not the right fit for Toronto. Why don't you give his partner Mark Jackson a shot? I think Mark Jackson, who was
come on
wait.
now,
I
man.
think
You don't
Mark
have a lot of
Jackson would
time.
be. I think Mark Jackson would be a good NBA coach, man.
Cause you would around.
I'm in on Gundy. Gundy's a
that'll
great
make him a
coach.
good coach.
Look what he did with the 99 Knicks, getting in the finals. And by the way, if you rub people wrong in Houston, it's not a big deal. Tracy McGrady is soft. Yao Ming is soft. Those guys aren't mentally tough enough. Any coach is going to rub them the wrong way. So Van Gundy be a great
I would
coach.
like the Jeff Stan
Eddie Jordan.
rivalry
Eddie
live in the
Jordan.
Eastern
Eddie Jordan, good
Conference.
coach
We got to go to
too.
break.
Eddie
My
Jordan.
last
Yeah.
word's coming up next. The mistake by the lake no more. At least not on the basketball court. How LeBron and the Cavs are the faves to bring hardware to Cleveland is my last word next.